used to build walls around me. I wonder why I couldn't breathe.
Marshall, it's great talking to you, man. I just wish we could have been doing this in person because as we speak, you know, the world is dealing with the coronavirus and everybody's pretty much locked down. How are you? How's your family? And what part of the world are you in right now?
I'm good. I mean, it's great talking to you, too. I wish we could be face-to-face, but I'm in Oakville, you know, the greater Toronto area. I live in the same world that you are right now, I'm assuming. And it's a crazy time. It's a crazy time that we can't be sitting there across from each other chit-chatting.
You know, as an artist, for somebody who's used to being in front of the stage, walking red carpets, creating music and stuff, and being as creative as you are, how has things changed for you not being able to tour, not being able to be up on stage, not being able to do interviews like this in person? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, man, that's the toughest part. You know, like, if you can say there's any positives that are coming from it, it's the fact that if someone had said, hey, you can lock yourself in for a month and all you have to do is write music, I would have been like, all right, cool. But if at the end of that month I would have known that I can't get back on stage and I can't tour and I can't see fans and I can't go and do interviews and stuff, I would have said, no, I don't think I'm going to take that. Like, you know, as an artist, for me, the greatest feeling is getting on a stage and having fans, thousands of people sing your music right back in your face. And it really is. It's the greatest feeling I've ever had. And, you know, a close second is creating. So, you know, me personally, I love creating music. It's been, it hasn't been as crappy as I thought it would be because I can just sit here and create. But I really don't like the other side of it, that, you know, there's just not going to be concerts for a while. And I think I saw that there's going to be drive-in theaters that are going to put concerts on where you're sitting in your car and that type of world. Like, it's tough, man. I really love the interaction with fans.
And I think the difference now too is because I can remember years ago I was saying like, you know, maybe sometimes you don't need to go to a concert. You know, you can watch it on YouTube or on television or whatever else. Big difference from what I've seen now which is great that we can do live streaming and seeing folks like yourself being able to perform. But there's nothing like being at a venue. There's nothing like being part of a crowd. There's nothing like feeding off of each other. In fact, I just saw a video clip of fans, Wembley Stadium, I do believe that's where it was, and I do believe they were waiting for Queen, but they started singing Bohemian Rhapsody. Imagine that whole crowd filling that area up, singing Bohemian Rhapsody. You don't get that when you're sitting there live streaming. That's what artists and fans, that's the experience, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you 100%. There's a feeling that you get. It gives you the goosebumps. It makes your nipples hard. You know, it's like, oh my God, what's about to happen? It's that you can't compare. And like you just said, you can watch somebody on TV or you can watch them live stream and like, yeah, that's cool. It's live. But there's no feeling. You know, you're not part of it. You're just watching it.
Absolutely. But speaking of nipples, congratulations on the new single and video.
Well done.
And I think that's the perfect segue to get into this, man, because we're going to talk about the video in a second, but congratulations on the new single, man. You've got to be thrilled, even though, like I said, it is a tough time right now. The fact that you've got new music out there, and I know me as a fan and your fans also in general are happy that you're still putting out new music for us.
Thanks, man. I mean, that's another frustrating part is that song was supposed to come out like in March. And, you know, it just kept getting pushed back because none of us knew what was going to be happening with the music industry. And it's just like, okay. And then everything reaches a point with all of us. It's like, okay, how long do we wait for anything these days? So, yeah, I'm really excited that it's out. I wrote that back in late October, November. And it was one of those ones where, you know, when I wrote it, it immediately meant a lot to me. And I didn't know if it was going to be the first single or what it was, but I just knew that it had an emotional connection and it was something I was really proud of.
Well, let's let folks know because they're going, what song are they talking about? What's the song called? And lyrically, what's the song about?
It's called This Is It. But I mean, you know me, you and I have had conversations about this before, and when it comes to lyrics, and I'm really one of those people where I don't love taking away the meaning of a song for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I've listened to songs, Bob Dylan songs before, and been like, oh, I think I know what that's about, and then you find out it's about something else. But you know, I mean, I can tell you, I've been I've gone through a lot of change in my life over the whole last year, and I knew there was some more change coming. And I was really in a point in my life where I kept trying to look forward and be like, okay, how is all this going to play out? Where am I going to be in a year? What am I going to be doing in 3 years? What if this works? What if this doesn't work? And I had to just kind of stop all that shit and just say, okay, maybe the future that you were thinking about 3 years ago is actually right now. And so why are you not allowing yourself to be present in that and just trying to figure out what's coming next? How about we just hold up, take a minute, and be like, okay, well, this is it. Like, this is what you've been waiting for. This is that future that you saw 3 years ago. So let's just try and live in this for a minute and enjoy it. And that's where the idea came from, you know. And it was a big moment for me. It was one of those eureka moments, and like, cool, okay, let's go this way.
Here it is, everything I'm waiting for right now. This is it. That's it. Everything I want, here it is. Yeah, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it.
Now let's get to probably one of the best videos I've seen in years. How did you, and I don't want to give away too much on this because I want people to see this like from a first time going, what is going on here? Who came up with the idea on this? And the only thing I will give away is you're the only person in this video.
Yeah. Look, I have an amazing video team, two Toronto dudes, Chris Stacey and Brian Schreeb. And I was sitting in Chris's studio down in LA on a Wednesday night. We knew we were going to shoot a video Thursday. We had no idea what it was going to be about. And it was 10 o'clock Wednesday night, and he pulled up an old video that he had done for a real estate company. And, you know, it was something where the real estate agent was just taking full advantage of these people's house, and then they came home unexpectedly. And so we said, you know, what if we kind of vamp off that? And we had a connection to get obviously a beautiful home. And he said, well, you know, are you willing to just, you know, kind of bear it off for a day? I said, sure, why not? We got nothing else to go on. So we started shooting Thursday morning at 10 a.m. And it was just like, okay, 12 hours, let's go.
That day must have been set for you because weather-wise, the sunshine, the shadows, everything was perfect on this. And I am going to push this again for folks who are listening to this whole interview on Rudy Blair Entertainment Media, RudyBlairMedia.com. You have to see this video. It is freaking brilliant. Absolutely love this, man. Congratulations on this, too. Is there going to be an EP or an album following all this?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how many songs we'll put together this time. I mean, what is an album these days? You know, it's kind of like I have a bunch of music. Well, look, the first album that I put out as Marshall Layers was really kind of experimental, you know, and it was something that that type of music I hadn't really done before. And I called that album Layers for that reason. I knew it was one layer of me, but I really never thought there would be another album or more music from me that was kind of in that vein. And I wanted to be able to put myself in a position where I could still just do whatever the heck I want. And so this, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll call the next EP Layers again. It'll be another layer of me. I don't know. But all of this music has that same feel. You know, it's just like This Is It. It's very anthemic. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a couple of cool ballads in there. But, you know, whether it's going to be 5 or 6 or 7 songs, I don't know. But they definitely all have that same feel. There's that, you know, it's right back to where I started in that alternative kind of gritty, anthemic feeling. You know, whether it's a Bastille or Imagine Dragon type feel, whatever it is, it gets me back into that little bit of the alternative edge to it. And yeah, you know, just it's another reason, right back to what we started on, loving the fact that being on stage and playing festivals, this type of music really gets me amped up for that, because I love being on stage and it's just this anthemic and people just screaming, hey, you know, it's just, oh man, it just really gets you.
Will there be any live streaming in the meantime while we're waiting to see how things are going to, you know, be lifted in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I've been doing this little thing called Marshall Mondays. It's like this little variety show that I do on Instagram Live. Do, you know, like a top 5 memes and kind of base it off the old David Letterman show. And then at the end of it, I'd play songs, sometimes an original, sometimes a cover. But I'm definitely interested in these online festivals that they're doing. And it's really, to me, it's about, can I provide a sound that isn't just some crappy iPhone recording? And it takes a while. I think it's taken a while for all of us musicians to kind of figure out what the best way to make sure our sound is coming through on somebody's phone or somebody's home computer, and not have it just sound like I recorded it as a voice note, you know?
I hear you. That's one of the reasons why, for folks, and I've had people ask me, why am I not doing these interviews on Zoom? I'm just finding, for me right now, doing what I've been doing, whether it be in-person video or over the phone like this, is better for me, because I've been seeing people doing Zoom. Half the time they're taking 10 or 15 minutes before they can get things set up. And then when they do have things set up, I'm looking up somebody's nose or down their forehead or something like that. So it's like, I would rather wait until something is actually set up right, so that we can do this and everybody can enjoy the experience. So I hear exactly what you're saying too, my friend. But in the meantime, where do we go social media to follow you on your Mondays, new music, old music, or anything else that you're doing right now? Where do we go social media-wise?
My website is musicbymarshall.com, and Instagram is still Walk Off Marshall. You know, it's just a great. I just kept it. I love it, and keeps my roots. So Walk Off Marshall on Insta, musicbymarshall.com will get you there. And, you know, you can just Google Marshall, This Is It. I think you can just say, hey Siri, play This Is It by Marshall, or Alexa, play This Is It by Marshall, and boom, running.
I'm going to try that actually as soon as we hang up. I want to see that happen. Love the experience. Look, man, great talking to you. So glad you got music out. So glad that you're doing something that you love to do. We're happy that you put out music for us while we're, locked down and just looking for those moments of enjoyment and just forgetting about the tough times. So thank you for that too. And I'm really hoping, I've been saying this to everybody, I'm so hoping at some point in time, man, we can do these interviews again in person, in a venue, backstage, getting ready to go on stage, anything. I'm just looking forward to all of that fun. Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's great talking to you. I appreciate you having me. Appreciate you too, man. You be safe, and we'll talk soon. Take care. See you, Reese. Bye-bye. This is it.